I'm Jenny Ortiz-Bolivar of Sigma World, and we are here right now at Inspire Entertainment Resort in Incheon, South Korea. And with me, of course, is the president of Inspire Entertainment Resort, Chen Si. Chen, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you. It's our pleasure to welcome you to Inspire.
Well, I guess, Chen, my first question, of course, we're here because of Sigma Asia Land-Based Retreat. I want to ask your thoughts on how important it is to build, a land-based community in Asia.
A land-based
Community for
community
because for all the land-based executives, because we're bringing together,
the industry.
people, yes, the industry leaders, the industry movers here at Inspire. What's your thought about that? The importance of bringing in people into the community in this industry.
Right. I think it actually is a very small and intimate community. Right. Ever since Macau legalized, it's the industry is growing quickly and has been growing quickly, but the people in the business has been there for a long time. So you see old faces a lot, right? So aside being just kind of reunion almost for people like us in the business, you share best practices and you talk about the recent developments. There's a lot of regulatory differences among jurisdictions, right? And talking about marketing programs, and so it's always good to kind of open up your eyes, because normally you focus so much on your jurisdiction, and our time is consumed a lot by regulations and our local competitions, right? So when people get together in a regional conference like this, it's great. It's eye-opening, it's refreshing, and you see old faces, so it's great. Yeah, and obviously it's good business for us.
That's true, and I agree on what you said. It's a small community, right? People know who are, from other, even if it's a competitor, they know each other. It's a small community, and it's a great time, I guess, to learn and relearn and to reconnect with leaders, land-based leaders in Asia. Now, I want to focus on Inspire. Chen, Inspire has been around for almost 10 months. You had a soft launch in November last year. Your casino opened in February, and you had basically your grand launch in March. Yes. So how was it so far?
It has been great. I think it exceeded our expectation in many regards. Our total visitation right now, we've exceeded 2 million visitors in the last 10 months, right? And we're tracking probably closer to 3.5 for the first year. Continue to ramp, right? And so visitation-wise, we certainly have been a sort of a new destination in Korea. Locally, and again, and as we talk through our products, we have a lot of non-gaming offerings. So this is really much more than a casino, right? So that visitation, a lot of it is actually local driven for non-gaming attractions. Gaming is doing very well. It opened in February, so we're still ramping. We've only been operating for 6 months, but I would say we got a lot of attention from regional, gaming agents and direct customers, especially on the premium side. And we're working through our strategies on the mass, driving tourism conversion, as well as continue to grow our premium side of business. So I would say so far it's been a very, very good opening.
Fantastic. Now I want to ask you about, there's a latest recent analysis that Mohegan is doing, pretty well. It has a very positive outlook because of Inspire. What can you say about that? Is that bringing pressure on your end?
Well, I think as a group, we operate, a number of other major casinos in North America, right? IRs. And our flagship property in Connecticut, the Mohegan Sun, is obviously doing very, very well. And that's a massive, massive building. So, I think we certainly have the potential to be one of the major contributors of revenue to the group. But we're still ramping, right? So the pressure is always there to perform. But within the group, we have the flagship, and we have a couple other properties that are similar size that are performing well as well. So, there's a lot of expectation for us to perform. I think not only just financially, but also as sort of a conduit of expanding the Mohegan brand and our culture of the tribe globally, right? So I think that's something else we're really focusing on, working with communities closely and, showing sort of the Mohegan way of doing business. And we call it the spirit of 𝐂𝐭, right? And so, yes, there's always financial pressure, but, I think the group is big enough that we also contribute, but also we're focusing on the cultural and the branding.
Right. And I want to ask you about, your thoughts on the growing trend of having integrated resorts, not just casinos, so really offering more than just gaming. It's really offering, people, not just gamers, but really welcoming families. What can you say about that trend, especially in Asia, not just in East Asia, but basically whole of Asia? That's the trend. We see, Sri Lanka, we see the Philippines, we see maybe we'll see Thailand one day. So what can you say about that? Is that for you a growing threat because of competition, or is that for you a testament on how integrated resort is evolving?
I think it's evolving. I think it started off really as a gaming-driven, gaming-centric product, right? Especially in Macau, to a lesser extent in Singapore, but Manila as well, right? In Entertainment City, they're very, very gaming-centric. The amenities in the resort are really supporting gaming, right? And it's evolving, more towards sort of a Las Vegas model, right? Which sort of who we are, which is, the non-gaming business are really standalone businesses,
Yeah.
right? And that is, I think, great in the sense of it expands your customer base, right? So we don't just serve the casino patrons. We serve our local Korean customer. We serve other vacationers from regions who don't want to gamble, right? And that's still good business for us. So I think that trend is certainly it's also because of the jurisdiction and the regulatory constraints, and so would it sustain? I think it depends on the jurisdiction you're talking about, right? If it's Thailand, perhaps it will still be gaming centric, just because the demand for gaming is so astronomical. But in other jurisdictions where you have more restrictions on gaming, yeah, maybe this would continue to be a trend, like Vietnam, for example, right? But for
Right.
Korea, certainly, I think for us, it has been a good start. And we're still sort of exploring ways to maximize our non-gaming offers as well. So we're still exploring. So it's still new for us.
Is there a struggle that locals, Koreans, are not allowed to gamble here or to, enter a casino?
Well, we knew that coming in, right? I mean, we knew that was the context of the license. So there was no surprise. And the business model of Inspire was built with that regulation in mind, right? So that's why we have a facility that is primarily non-gaming driven. Gaming being a very important part of the business, but a very small footprint, right? And resource-wise, as we're talking about, we have close to 3,000 staff. Less than a third of that is really for the casino, right? So this whole ecosystem was primarily built for non-gaming, and we knew that, right? So the question is, how do we make that business model work? And I think the start has been good. We've seen very strong demand from local families and staycations coming in, right? And they do spend, and also our arena is doing very well programming shows. That's primarily focusing on non-gaming customers, and that's bringing a lot of attention to the resort from a branding perspective, but also to the bottom line. So, we always knew Korea is foreigners only. So that limits some of the upside on the gaming, but it opens up other avenues for us to maximize the non-gaming side.
Yeah, I just want to say this, because I've just been here for several hours and I've seen families, people of all ages like roaming around. So it's really nice that, you get to see locals enjoying the place as well. Even if they don't, they can't enter the casino, but there are a lot of other stuff that they can do, right? Now, I want to ask about, you've mentioned the almost 3,000 jobs for locals. How do you see Inspire contributing to the local economy?
Yeah, that's that's near and dear to our heart. That's one of their top priorities. Again, coming from Mohegan's way of doing business, the spirit of 𝐂𝐭, we want to be good neighbors. We want to be good participants of the local economy. Specifically to Inspire, the 3,000 staff we have, and eventually we'll ramp up to 3,500. Most of them are young college graduates that we partner with over 30 universities in Korea, and 2 years ago, right? So it has been in the works to kind of get their graduating class ready to come into this business. And they came from all over the country. So we brought all these newbies to this island. So they're new residents on this island, and they live in a dormitory we operate on the island. So they themselves have become a community of some sort, right? And they're integrating into the local communities very well, supports all the local businesses, F&B, laundry, you name it, supermarkets. And that itself is a sort of a direct impact. But broadly for Inspire, we have, as I said, we bring, targeting 3.5, 4 million visitors a year. That's mostly incremental to this island. So when these visitors are here, they don't just stop coming to Inspire. Mm-hmm. They stop by local supermarkets, gas stations, the beach cafes, the restaurants, the seafood restaurants. So that has a direct economic impact to the local community as well, and that's very well received. When I go visit restaurants nearby, I often hear from the owners, "Hey, thank you for opening Inspire," right? Because our business has gotten better. And similarly, when we have arena event, our arena capacity is 15,000. All the hotels on the islands are full. It's not just us, right? It's all the hotels are full. So again, that's direct economic impact. We're also part of a multi-agency initiative led by the Incheon City and the airport to co-develop this island further into a global commercial tourism innovation hub. So we have an MOU with multiple agencies on this island and companies, and us providing obviously our expertise in hospitality, venue management, entertainment as part of that global initiative to drive tourism. We also have many sort of direct relationships with charities, local charities. We support the local, the orphanage. We have a relationship with the WWF, the World Wildlife Foundation, and we do co-branding campaigns for them on our, digital street, Aurora, the digital platforms. So we do what we can to maximize our impact on the local communities as well.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, especially I think it's a sort of education to employment scheme, right? Is that still ongoing?
Yeah. So I think we're very proud to be sort of one of the largest, we're probably the largest employer in this sector in Korea, right? And primarily from fresh grads. So we give universities a very good platform to recruit their incoming students and give them a good opportunity coming out of the universities. So we'll continue to do that. Yes.
All right. Now I want to ask you about the competition regionally. So for your casino business, it's mostly, correct me if I'm wrong, are the Chinese and the Japanese tourists. How do you plan to attract more foreigners to go here and play?
So I think, I don't think there's any kind of secret sauce there, right? I think we have established branch office in Japan, in Tokyo. We're going to expand our footprint in Japan into Osaka. We have branch office in Taiwan, Hong Kong. So we have direct sales efforts in those key regions. For the regions we don't have direct sales offers, we also have partnerships with junkets, agents. We have programs designed for sort of these agents to bring their players to us, right, through incentives. And on the mass level, I think one is just continue to grow the brand of the resort and awareness in the region. So gamers and non-gamers alike thinking about where they want to go for their next vacation, think about Inspire as a potential destination. And when they're here, the casino is there for them if they choose to. Arena, our entertainment program, is a very big draw for us. It's a differentiator for us, right? So when we do K-pop concerts and some other global top liners like Westlife, Maroon 5, we did in March, right? So that would also draw foreign visitation. And obviously, we hope to convert some of that into gaming, mostly mass. Right. So I think on the different segments and different regions, we have different strategies, but it's pretty standard. I would say it's just in terms of how do we execute. Right. We need to execute these strategies really, really well and really, really quickly.
What's the biggest challenge for Inspire right now?
Oh, wow. I think we're ramping extremely quickly. So the challenge is actually, in my mind, is how do we provide the level of service, the consistency of service to the expectation of our customers. As I said, our team is young, right, and they're mostly fresh grads. So training takes time. But they're all thrown into the deep end of the pool right away, right? I mean, we opened on our opening day with a Melon Music Award for 12,000 audience.
Wow.
I don't think any other resort or hotel has done that globally, right? So the first day, our team members are dealing with 12,000 screaming fans. And that has not stopped, right? And that's continued to ramp. So how do we find time to train, to really put in that brand standards and service disciplines into our team members and continue to have that consistency? It's challenging, right? But that's in-store execution, right? And that's a good problem to have, right? The demand is there. How do we service the demand? And that's the challenge.
Yeah, for sure, that's a very good problem to have. Now, we're talking about, I'm hearing expansion plans and all, big plans, and you started big, and you guys have, one big event after the other. What's next? What can we look forward to from Inspire, Chen?
I think certainly we're very focusing on just programming this building right now, right? And we call this building Phase 1A because we do have Phase 1B. And that is something we're discussing with the Korean government as we speak, something that we plan to talk about next year. More publicly. But certainly our team is very focused on delivering the service standards, right? Broaden our customer base, building the brand regionally, and really just get more business, right? And get everybody experience Inspire, which is a little bit different from your typical IRs in the region. So we hope it's exciting and it's new and you'll meet the expectations of our customers.
Yeah, my final question, Chen, would be, what's your outlook for IRs for gaming in whole of Asia?
Well, I think this business will never go away, right? And as you mentioned, Thailand is on the horizon, Japan is on the horizon, UAE is on the horizon. So this business will continue to be built regionally, perhaps with its own flavor because of the jurisdictions and the regulations. But using gaming as part of a broader strategy to drive tourism and local economic development is a theme that will continue to, I think, do very, very well, right? So I think Inspire, we look forward to kind of contribute to that growth in our own way by showing or demonstrating a slightly different spin of that, which is having a really non-gaming focused approach to serve tourists and locals alike and to have a broader appeal to gamers, right? And, bringing families, more casual, en masse, enjoying more of a holistic resort experience. Maybe that will give some inspiration to the new resorts that are coming. I think that would be our hope.
Fantastic, and I look forward to that. Keep us posted at Sigma World. And now, again, Chen Si, President of Inspire Entertainment Resort, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.